Don't give up on God, 'cause he won't give up on you, 'cause he's able, he's able, he's able. Yes, God is able. He's faithful and just. I just want to come on here and talk a little bit about the word. I was reading in Daniel chapter 6 when Daniel was in the lion's den, and I thought it was interesting how people is always looking for something wrong with somebody that's trying to do right. And Daniel was that man. He was a man that they couldn't find fault within him in his workplace. They couldn't find fault within him in his position that he held. And so they made a plot to come against him because of his God. And in doing that, they made up a statute or law saying that he couldn't serve his God. And when we read here, I'm going to go to it really quick. When we read here in the decree was in chapter 6 on 10, and said, Then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king and said thus unto him, King Darius live forever. All the presidents of the kingdom, the governors and the princes, the counselors and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days shall save of thee, O king. He shall be cast into the den of lions. Now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing, that it be not changed according to the laws of Medes and Persians, which altereth not. Wherefore King Darius signed the writings and the decree. You see, they've come up with some things, and they like, we're going to get him. If we got to get him through his God, you know. But they didn't understand that his God just wasn't a regular God. What they didn't understand is that he was just a man trying to be at peace, serve his God, and do his job. They didn't understand that. And a lot of times people don't understand that because they see you worship the Lord. They see you in your own little world doing you and having your relationship with God. And it's jealousy, envy, when they can have the same thing you have, but they choose to go out and do other things and be wicked and try to come up against you, plot all kind of things, say all kind of things, do all kind of things. And that particularly what was happening with Daniel, you know. And so Daniel continued to serve his God and pray to him 3 times a day, faithful, because he knows that a job comes and go, a position comes and go, but God is forever. He is forever. There's nothing nobody can say or do. He is forever. My kingdom come, my will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. He owns everything that's in it. Daniel, having the knowledge of this, is what created the envy and the jealousy as well, because other people couldn't captivate how you put your trust in a God you can't see, how you put your trust in a God you can't feel, how you put your trust in a God you can't touch, How you put your trust in a God that you ain't never ever seen before, don't know if you're gonna see, and you just want to say God, God, and worship him? Well, you know what? Since you think this God is so much better than us, and we're presidents, we're princes, we're this, we're that, we have this, we have that. And Daniel was just saying in himself, my God owns heaven and earth and everything that's in it. He owns the fullness thereof. So they're thinking to themselves, we're mighty. Pride. You know, pride comes with a fall. So Daniel is just sitting there, still praising his God 3 times a day. And so there they say, we're going to get him now. And they take it before the people that Daniel works with. Because, you know, also you got to remember, Daniel had favor too. You know, he was one of the highest people that you would look at in his position. He had the highest over everybody in the position that he was in. And so here you have this man of God praising his God 3 times a day, praying to his God, and, you know, worshiping his God and thanking his God and crying out to his God. And somebody got a problem with it where he works. Anyways, as we move forward in this, they said, okay, we got to take this back to the king. And the king, having this favor for Daniel, has to honor his statute, has to honor his decree. And so he throws Daniel into the lion's den, where Daniel is then sat there overnight. But the interesting part about that is that when the king puts Daniel in there, he says this to Daniel. And he says to him, and I have to speak on it. So they brought Daniel, and then the king came in, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of the lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, thy God whom thy servest continually, he will deliver thee. He will deliver thee. He even knew it. He said he will deliver thee. Daniel ain't have to say nothing. Listen. Be still and know that I'm God. Be still and know that I'm God. And then God can change the heart of a king. Isn't that the word of the Lord? Come on now. So all this is going on with Daniel. He's in the lion's den, and God does just what the king has said. The king couldn't sleep. He fasting for Daniel. He just like, you know, he going through it. And he arose early that morning and went into haste unto the dens of lions. And when he came into the den, he cried with a lamented voice unto Daniel. And the king spake and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, is thy God, whom thy servants continually able to deliver thee from the lions. And then said Daniel unto the king, O king, live forever. My God hath sent his angel and hath shut the lions' mouths, that they have not hurt me. For as much as before him innocency was found in me, and also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt. Now this is when you hear Daniel speak. God will shut the lion's mouth. I don't care where you go. I don't care what you got to do. When you put your trust in God, listen, God will shut the lion's mouth. He will shut the lion's mouth. And then even those who he put in places, in high places, he will let them know. Listen, they will see and they will know. They will witness and they will know that God is a deliverer. They will even speak it. God is a deliverer. That one event turned some things around. And guess what? We're living in times where a lot of wicked things are happening in this world. And in places and different things are going on in places where you just wouldn't imagine. But guess what? The Lord is faithful. God turned that thing around for Daniel. And when he turned it around for Daniel, he changed that whole decree. Now, I just want to say, he changed the whole decree. And some people the same people who was sitting there want Daniel messed up, got messed up. Gotta be careful sometimes. Sometimes you can't want evil for people. You gotta want good for them. I'm gonna say that again. Sometimes you can't be wanting evil for people. You gotta want good, because that same evil come back you back up. Which is what happened in Daniel. It bit them right back. Them and their families. And it was such a sad thing. But this is the thing that they wanted with Daniel, because they could not find no fault in him and wanted him to go away. Because why? He was serving his God peacefully. Because they were jealous of him, envy, couldn't understand why he had the favor he had over his life, the position maybe he had. It's sometimes things are like that in life. But I want people to know who experience such things. Now, it may not be as harsh as the situation with Daniel, because, whew, can you imagine having to be placed in a lion's den? But it may be a scrutiny, a conspiracy. It may be torment. In a sense of people just talking about you, speaking ill of you, trying to get you fired, maybe trying to get you put out of a club, maybe dismantle you, just mess up your whole world, your whole livelihood, just trying to take things away from you and mess things up for you because of their own wicked hearts. But I'm here to tell you, don't give up on God, 'cause he won't give up on you. He's able, he's able, he's able, he's able. Don't give up on God, 'cause he ain't gonna give up on you. He says, be still and know that I am God.